Okay, got the lights, the lights are working over there, okay. All hooked up, all ready to, to, hello? What, what,
What?
what, where's Joe? Hey, where's Joe? Where, who are you?
Brianna.
Where's Joe?
Not here.
Well, this is a bit of a shift for me. Okay. Wait, we started? We started? Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Okay. Well, this is unexpected. Joe isn't here. So, yeah, welcome back to another episode of Gamers Universe. I'm Troy. Brianna, you said? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's Brianna. We're gonna get started. Okay. We got quite a treat for you here today. We got Tomb Raider and we got this new game coming out soon. It's called ReCore. In case you're just tuning into this singular episode, we break games down into categories of graphics, storyline, gameplay, replayability, and then we round that all up to a final score. Have you even done, research on these games at all?
Yes.
How did you know what games we were gonna... Forget it, I don't care anymore. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is a game developed by Square Enix and Ubisoft and a whole bunch of other people, but those are two of the main bigwig companies who design games. Square Enix is known for making the Final Fantasy games and the Kingdom Hearts games. And Ubisoft is, I would say, well known for the Assassin's Creed franchise. I love that franchise. Do you love that franchise?
It's okay.
Do you even like games?
Somewhat.
Why are you here? Okay, forget it. All right, so we're gonna start with graphics for Tomb Raider. This is Tomb Raider for next-gen consoles like Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and all that. The graphics look very, very good for what it is. It's a survival game, I would say, and I almost gave away some of the story. You're throwing me off with your presence. So,
okay.
Yeah, I would say the overall look of it looks really good. It looks good. It looks clean. Realistic looking. When the attention to detail looks really very good. So I gave it a 9. Yeah. I almost called you Joe because I'm expecting a guy to be sitting in that chair.
Well, you got a girl.
How fitting with the theme of this episode. Please, what? I guess since you've done actual research on the game, you can give your score or whatever.
What I gave the graphics was a 9 because it's a really good game. It was just great graphics.
Yeah.
Got a problem with that?
Oh, what? No. I'm just sorry. I think I'm coming down with something. Help me. So the storyline for this is Laura. This is actually a really cool story if you ask me because this is like Laura Croft, because that's the main character of Tomb Raider. This is like Laura Croft when she first started off. And that's actually a really cool concept because, in all the other games, she was pretty cool. She was like this really cool female jumping around. shooting like dinosaur raptors in the face. Don't ask me why. That's just how they made the game, like when it first came out. But it was actually really cool because this is her when she first started out. So she isn't this like Rambo style guns blazing, you know, she's new to this type of stuff, new to this environment. And there's like a system where you get to see her progress into who she's become. And I actually think that's a really cool concept. So because of that, I gave it a 10 because it's really cool to see her like vulnerable at first, and then you see her like progress into the tomb raiding cool person that she ends up being. It's really cool to see that happen. So that's my rating. I guess you can give yours now, you know, since I'm done talking about it.
I also gave mine a 10.
Oh, wow.
Because basically it is a survival game.
It's a cool
and
concept.
What I've seen of it, it's really good, and I really want to just like...
You feel the pain of this character, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And it's just an amazing story. It is.
Yeah, you know, you get to see her, you know, in a vulnerable state. There's actually gruesome, like, death sequences. And, you know, it hurts a little when you see it happen. Because it's like, oh no, she died. I'm actually noticing that you're giving it the same score as I'm giving it. Is there something you want to share with us, something you want to talk about?
No.
No? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Seriously.
Okay. That's cool. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to the gameplay. So it's actually very good. I like the gameplay for Tomb Raider. It's a survival thing, and there's hunting. There's hunting. You can hunt animals. There's a bunch of different weapons. You start off with a bow and arrow, but you eventually get actual guns later on. There's like a climbing sequence where she has like a pickaxe and she's climbing like rocks, like rock walls and stuff, and doing that. It's really cool. I gave it a 9. The environments that you're in, it makes sense for the gameplay to act the way that it does act. And that's actually really weird for me to say that because that doesn't make sense. But when you see some gameplay, you'll understand what I'm talking about because it's survival and the gameplay has a survival action about it. There are like quick time events where you push a button and that makes sense. You can give your score now if you want.
Well, I gave my score a 9.
Yeah.
Because...
Same reasons, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same reasons.
Pretty much the same reasons. It's a good game. Basically, you do have to climb up rocks.
Ruins.
And ruins. And basically, you have to like press all these buttons to like get up the rock. Steep, right?
I guess. Yeah, I guess I call it that.
Yeah. So you don't get crushed.
Yeah.
Is what I saw in the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's great.
It's a really good game.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Help me. I think she's out for my spot. She's giving the same scores I'm giving it. Okay, so replayability here. All right, so honestly, I don't think there's much replayability here. Because I remember this game back when it first came out some time ago, and honestly, it seems like a linear story. I mean, you can backtrack and go to areas that you've already been to, especially when you get some items, like maybe you couldn't climb a certain wall because you didn't have the appropriate pickaxe to climb it. Well, once you get it, you can go back to that part, so you can go do that and see what you missed, and that's pretty cool. And it really encourages you to explore. So there's no real damage of going too far in a certain sequence. You can backtrack and go explore what you missed, especially when you don't have the appropriate item with you at the time to go explore that area. So there is some levels of replayability here, especially with the skill tree. You can probably, like, once you beat it, start over, go on a different route on the skill tree. There's actually 3 different skill trees. You could dump more points into one specific skill tree, or dump in another one. The way it works in terms of replayability here is, after you beat the game, is there any point of playing it again? And that's really what I'm rating replayability here as. So that's why I honestly gave the replayability a 4. Because there is some reasons to replay the game again, like dumping more points into a specific skill tree, backtracking so you can explore certain areas you couldn't get to before. But other than that, once you honestly beat the game, that's it. That's it, unless you want to just start over again. There is New Game Plus. Most games have New Game Plus. But you're basically just doing it all over again. So that's why I'm honestly giving it a 4. It's your turn now.
Okay, so I gave the replayability a 3.
Oh, the first different score that we've had all day.
It's because, like, I basically believe that if you finish the game, that's that. And
oh, wow, just like me.
Not just like you.
I literally just said that.
And, like,
I'm sorry, continue.
if you go one path, that's fine. That's how I am. I go one path and that's it.
Is that it? Is that it? Is that what you gave it?
Yeah.
What? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
nothing. That's nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, no, that's nothing. So, final verdict. The final score. So the final verdict for Tomb Raider for me would be an 8. A solid 8. It's a solid experience with its amazing story, with its top-notch gameplay. The gameplay really complements, the theme and the story here. And there is some replayability elements in here, so after you beat it, it won't just sit on your shelf collecting dust. You'll probably replay it a decent one more time. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that you'll probably replay it a little bit more times than that. But you'll probably beat it one time, like it. It'll sit there on your shelf for a while, and then it's like, oh wow, Tomb Raider. You'll be browsing your games one day and be like, oh wow, Tomb Raider, that was a good game. I beat it, but I wonder what would happen if I did this instead. You know what? Let me try that, and you'll pick it up, and it's that kind of game. So that's why it's an 8 for me. You don't have to wait for me to tell you when it's your turn.
Well, so I gave my final score a 9 because of the whole, like, the graphics and the gameplay. The gameplay is really smooth and all that. So it just seems like a really good game to me. So that's why I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we found Joe yet? Have we found Joe yet?
He's not here.
No, what? Oh, no, huh? I'm sorry, huh? No, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right, so moving on to the next one, ReCore. This is an actual Xbox exclusive, the Xbox One. It's created by Amateur Studio and Concept. Amateur Studios helped develop Injustice and Batman Arkham Origins. Concept actually helped make Mighty Number 9. It's like a Mega Man thing. I thought it was pretty cool. So this game's got to be good, you know, those two people working together, making something like this. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a rhetorical question.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, graphics. So it is next gen. It is Xbox One. I'm sorry, PlayStation people. I'm a PlayStation guy myself, so I'm a little disappointed. It honestly doesn't look as good as Tomb Raider does. It looks a little more muddy. A little more muddy, if that makes any sense at all. See, because what I mean by that is the graphics for Tomb Raider looked really good. They looked really clean. There were moments where you would stop playing and look at your surroundings, look at your environment, because it looks pretty, you know? And that's really what gives games high scores in terms of graphics, for me anyway. And this game's no different. You know, there will be moments where you'll stop and you'll look at your environments because it looks good. But if you compare Tomb Raider to this game, ReCore, Tomb Raider looks slightly better. Now, just because of that, I'm not going to give it a low score. It still gets a really high score of 8, but I have to bump the score down a little bit because it doesn't look as good as all of its other games that you can compare it to. And that's why I gave it an 8.
Well, I gave for my score of the graphics, I gave it a 7.
7.
Because, like you said, it's a little more muddier.
It's a little more muddy.
And it's not in that, like, amazing factor.
Mm-hmm.
You
can still look at the environments because it'll still look good, but it's just not going to be as good.
Yeah, that's why I just gave it a 7. So
yeah, that's great. Storyline. Now, this game doesn't really come out until October, and there isn't really all that much about it to really know what the storyline is or what it's about. So what's going to happen here is I'm gonna give a theory of what I think the story is going to be. There was a trailer where the main character, Jewel, gets like a letter from her dad. It's an auto letter, like it's voicemail letter on like a wristband thing. It's set in like desert apocalyptic thing. I guess that's what I can call it. But basically something happened to her dad, and her dad left her a whole bunch of like robots that can do different things. And I think what the story is going to be about is, she's basically going to find out like what happened to her dad and come across like a whole bunch of like secluded, like need to know kind of stuff. So we're not really going to give the storyline a score here because we really don't know what it is. But if that's what the story is really going to be, then I would have given the score like an 8 because it's not like really an original story, like go find your dad because something happened. Like it's not like you haven't seen that before. But the way the world is set up, at your disposal, like the stuff that happens in between is really going to be like the meat of this game, including the gameplay, which we'll get to that. But so it would have gotten an 8, but we really don't know all that much about the story. So besides from my theory, there's really nothing to score here.
You basically said everything.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so gameplay. So the gameplay, it looks really good. You're basically it's I would say third-person shooter. I would honestly say third-person shooter. There's a lock-on system. You fight robots, and the robots have like colors, and the gun that you use has 3 different colors. So you have to match up the colors with the type of robot you're fighting for the maximum damage. You don't really have to like match the colors. It's just if you do that, you get maximum damage. And then there's like this thing where like you pull the core out of the robot, and then you collect it for something. Really don't know for what though, but for what it was, it looks really cool. So I gave it a 9.
I basically gave it a 9 because everything of this game basically like it is color coordinated,
I would say.
and basically everything, like all the what was it? Just lost it.
All the colors.
All the monsters.
Robots.
The robots are like different colors to fit what gems you have.
Yeah, it looked like gems. It almost actually reminded me of Jack and Dexter. It almost reminded me of Jack and Dexter. But yeah, besides from that, what would you give it?
I just said 9.
Oh, 9, okay. All right. Replayability. So the replayability, almost the same thing as Tomb Raider. Like once you're done, that's it. And I really don't know if there's like a skill tree or anything. So I'm actually going to switch my score and give it a 3, because in all honesty, it seems like a really linear story, and once you're done, that's it. Maybe there's free roaming, I don't know.
I gave my score for replayability a 4.5.
Oh, fractions. What?
It's because, like, I don't think this has a replayability thing to it.
Factor.
Factor.
The word you're looking for is factor. Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah.
All right, that's cool enough. Okay, so the final verdict for this is going to be 7 for me. Just below what Tomb Raider was, because the replayability factor is a lot less than it was in Tomb Raider, but at the same time, it's not bad. They're almost the same game, but ReCore is more third-person shooter status, really. So for me, it's a 7.
My final score was a 7.5.
Yeah, all the same reasons and stuff. I would say all the same reasons and stuff.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and just because of the whole
Stuff like that?
Yeah, the stuff like that, and
I would say.
the graphics really brought it down.
Yeah. Yeah, the graphics brought it down.
Yeah, the graphics really brought it down.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up for us. So thank you all so much for watching. The aliens are back. You brought them to me, didn't you? I knew it. Okay, look. Check out our Facebook page, Gamers Universe, and go check out the YouTube channel, Gamers Universe TV. Thank you guys so much for watching. You brought the aliens back to me. I knew it. Get Joe. Get the plasma rifles. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys later. Oh, jeez. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I knew you brought them to me again. Oh, my goodness. Ah.